This is something good, you know, something for your kids, you know, they have to listen back.
Gee, it's almost 5. I can see that. Now I see the clock.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon. My name is Doug Holder, and I'm here with my guest. Dan Sklar. Dan is a colleague of mine at Endicott College, and he's a professor of creative writing. He is a playwright. He is the author of several collections of poetry, and the most recent one, Flying Cats, actually Swooping. An interesting title. And we published them in the Ibbetson Street Press, which is here in Somerville, where we're broadcasting from right now. So welcome aboard, Dan. It was good to see you. I was walking down the street. There you were. You rode your bike all the way from Beverly?
No, I took the train in.
Oh, all right. I almost have to take it in this heat.
And I, have my helmet here.
Oh, okay. So you pick it up at the train at Alewife or something?
No, I rode from North Station.
Oh, from North Station. Good for you. That's how you keep in shape, right?
So I got my helmet here, and then I got some bread.
Oh, you get hungry.
Some Portuguese bread that I bought.
Oh, we're here?
Somerville, yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, what store, just for advertising?
Neighborhood bakery there.
There you go.
Restaurant.
Oh, the neighborhood, yeah. It's a great place. Well, there you go. He's also contributing to the economy in Somerville, which is very good. So, Dan, you teach at Endicott, and you've won several awards for your teaching at Endicott, and for teaching excellence, right? And what makes an excellent teacher, in your opinion? You just told me so you can see it. I often hear you screaming down the hall, from my adjunct office in the basement. You were teaching, of course, there. I hear kids screaming, and I hear you screaming. Is that part of being a good teacher?
Well, it depends on what you're teaching. But that particular course was playwriting, so we were doing scenes.
Right.
And in scenes, people are usually arguing, fighting, and there's conflict. So it was all in good fun, but...
Yeah.
I think that a good class, first of all, you should wake the students up.
Okay.
Number one.
A friend of mine said that he lost his job, but he actually threw a chair across the room to wake the students up. He was teaching at Northeastern. You wouldn't do that, would you? No. Okay.
No, you wake up their minds.
You wake up their minds.
Yeah.
And what other ways do you do that, Dan? Because what's your method? You go into a class and what's the deal?
Well,
they're all on texting, or they're glazed-eyed, and so what do you do?
Well, you talk to them like human beings, and the first few minutes of a class is how you do, and you come in with a story. I always come in with a story, like a dream or something. Like, for instance, I had a dream last night. And when you talk about a dream you had last night, suddenly everyone listens.
Right.
Because everyone has dreams. And then I'm interested in their dreams that they had last night.
So
last night I had a dream. Also, yes, you ask them, what are your dreams? And then we do some dream writing. It's always a story. Always bring in a story. Something that makes them listen. For instance, I had a dream last night where I was with someone and they said, let's go to New Zealand. And she said, too much traffic. And then she said, oh, here's Brian. And she got on a motorcycle with a guy named Brian and rode away.
Yeah. Guess it wasn't that much traffic.
I don't know if you went to New Zealand or not.
No. So, all right. So, and actually, you are a playwright, and you've had a number of plays out, and you recently had a play out in Newburyport. What was the name of it?
Hack License.
Hack License. And it was at what theater there?
Actor Studio.
Tell me about that. What was the Hack License about?
Oh, boy. Well, it was about a taxi cab driver.
Right.
A woman taxi cab driver, 22 years old,
right,
from Louisiana. And all these New Yorkers get into her taxi, and they all come in with their problems, and they all insult her, but she solves all their problems somehow.
And she solves their problems.
But she's looking for a man. She's looking for a boyfriend, but he has to paint like Charles Birchfield. So,
I'm not familiar with Charles.
Oh, Charles Birchfield is a wonderful painter.
Okay. And how does Charles Birchfield paint?
Oh, bright colors, storms, flowers, volcanoes, yellows, reds, greens, filled with life.
Right.
And that's what she wants, someone filled with life.
Okay. And is there a happy ending, or we don't want to get into it? Who do you, for instance, I mean, you must have had influences in the theater, other playwrights. I mean, is there anything, anyway, Eugene O'Neill, I mean, obviously...
Well, I wish it was Eugene O'Neill. I wish I could write like Eugene O'Neill. Every time I sit down to write like Eugene O'Neill, it comes out like Neil Simon.
Okay.
So there's a Neil in there.
Yeah. So there's always, because you use a lot of comedy in your writing.
Oh, but I never try to. It just happens. For instance, I think.
You always look like you're on the. Whenever I run into you always look like you're on the verge of making a joke.
That's true.
It's true.
I am,
and that's a nice quality.
Saroyan, I think, is a big influence as far as.
The Man on the Flying Trapeze was.
Yeah. And some of his other plays, like The Time of Your Life.
Okay.
And.
Thornton Wilder.
George S. Kaufman, Thornton Wilder, sure.
Yeah.
They're all great.
Right. Okay. Some other questions. You're big on both Whitman and Bukowski. Okay. And what is it about them that inspires you? I mean, they're different kind of writers. Whitman, was sort of embraced nature, embraced people, was sort of like loved people. Bukowski was sort of misanthropic, and yet you embrace and you wouldn't think Bukowski would be someone you would like all the time. You might like.
Well, totally different than both of them.
Right.
In my writing.
So what is it?
Maybe the freedom of them. I'm as lusty as nature, is Whitman, and Bukowski is very sad. Right?
Yeah, I've seen tapes of him, and I've showed the kids tapes of him, and he's just talking about how he hates everyone, hells other people, and all this stuff. Part of it might have been kind of an act, but he wasn't what you would say, wouldn't be a UN delegate.
But I think I love the freedom that he writes about, and the sincerity, and the honesty, and also he comes up with some beautiful lines. He actually has some beautiful poems.
Okay.
So there's a bluebird in my heart. It's one of his beautiful. Poems where he says he tries to drown it in whiskey and cigarettes, but it's there.
If Whitman and Bukowski had a reading, would you attend?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of reading do you think they would get along at all? Or?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Whitman is all full of love and contradictions.
Right.
I contradict myself, so I contradict myself. I am filled with contradictions. And Bukowski's filled with contradictions too, like we all are.
As long as Whitman didn't try to, get a little funny there with Bukowski,
I don't know.
He loved men. Yeah.
That's okay.
All right. No, that's fine. Some of my best friends, right? Now, your new collection, Flying Cats, Actually Swooping. What was the inspiration for that? Flying Cats, Actually Swooping. Where did that come from?
Well, I was watching this, believe it or not, it sounds, very ordinary, but I was watching a TV show about the future if there were no humans on the planet. And I was falling asleep, as I usually do, watching those shows, and I heard, in the future, there will be flying cats. And I perked up. And it talked about in the future, when there are no humans, the cats will go back up into the trees, and, of course, they will fly like flying squirrels, actually swooping. So I wrote a poem about the future, what the future would be like. And my idea that the future is going to be slow. Things will be slow. Cats will fly, people will ride horses again, maybe. They'll definitely ride bicycles, they'll take trains. It'll be slow.
Well, I mean, the way things are going, it'll be, they're going to be 500 degrees and, terrorism.
They'll have to go slow.
We're lucky if there's anything left. But you're an optimistic guy.
Oh, yes.
You're always optimistic. Is it hard to keep your optimism?
When I'm with people, no. But by myself, yes.
When you're with people, no. By yourself, yes. Why, when you're with people? All those other people? Or is
No, because I like to be with other people. I like
But
to
you
be
say
with
it's
you.
hard to
You're
keep-
my brother.
Right, I know. And your younger brother. Nah, but you said by
Especially
yourself.
with-
Wait a minute, you said by yourself you keep your optimism.
No,
With
no,
other people-
with other people I keep.
Okay.
I think.
So,
I try
okay.
to.
All right.
Especially
So-
with students.
Yeah, with students, because
Yeah.
they still have some, they don't have all the baggage yet, right?
Mhm.
But how about when you're alone? When you stop brooding?
Oh, I brood.
You're a brooder.
I brood.
Yeah.
I'm brooding.
What happens? That you're with people, and then what? You get home, and then you start thinking about all the horrors?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. When I see people like you, I smile.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see you.
Right.
And when I'm alone, I just let myself get into these moods. You know, like go to a coffee shop and just get depressed.
Oh, you see, I go to a coffee
Meditate.
shop, and I love it. I go to a coffee shop, start writing,
Yeah,
listen
but
to
it's the kind of
conversation.
depression I embrace.
Oh.
That it's
So it's
good.
creative depression.
It's creative depression because then I sit down and start writing and something comes from it.
Okay.
It's like Russians, you know. A Russian has to suffer.
Yeah.
And they'll seek
I
out
call suffering
suffering.
a Starbucks and a latte. And
Well, I don't go there. You know where I go to get a coffee? Dunkin' Donuts. That's suffering.
That's suffering,
Sit there, listen to the music, the TV,
right.
all the people in there.
You know,
That's
what
where I go.
particularly annoys me is when it drives me. You know, I wake up very early to teach. I'm at the Dunkin' Donuts at 5 a.m. So
That's where the people are. The
yeah,
Dunkin' Donuts.
Well, there's no one there actually, except you hear that Dunkin' radio where they're saying, "And what are you having this morning?" I'm having, I'm having the cream donut. They have this happy talk. But anyway,
In Zen, you're supposed to go to uncomfortable places, and that's Dunkin' Donuts.
yeah. Well, I never know. Maybe I am a Zen master in my own way.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, I am. I
No
am.
question about it.
And working in the basement and all that stuff. So, poet Lisa Beekman, who we published sometime, actually she wrote a book about the old Ames, poetry book based on the Ames envelope factory.
Not the
Great book.
workers. Yeah.
Right, that place is gone now.
She's
Actually,
a great voice for the workers.
but it's gone, and now it's something else creative that's there. I think it's the Artisans Asylum, which is a huge space for artists in Somerville. It's unbelievable. But anyway, she would describe you on a blurb on the book as an American primitive. Now, what is that, and do you agree with it?
I do. That's why I love that, what she said about it.
Okay.
Because I couldn't label myself, you have to have someone else do it. And when she says primitive, I loved it because,
Well, some people might take offense, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. Why would, how do you mean she means it?
Oh, it's sincere, it's
Right.
earthy, it's basic, it's primal, there's nothing fancy about it.
Right. And,
So I took that as a compliment.
And that's
So
how you're-
in fact, it kind of, when she wrote that, I kind of
Yeah.
said, yeah, primitive. And then you kind of continue in that way, knowing that, and it helps you.
Right. So you know your voice, and your writing is reflective of that. It's not there's not a great deal of ornamentation, but it just gets to the meat of the matter.
Yeah.
You know.
Very little metaphor.
Very little metaphors. But is metaphor important for poetry?
For some writers, it is.
Yeah.
If I come up with a metaphor, it's just pure luck.
Yeah.
I can never think of them; they just happen. For instance, here's a line that I wrote. There's no metaphor in it. War is hands and faces shot to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
War is hands and faces shot to pieces. No metaphor there.
No. But so you use a lot of repetition in your poems.
When you have a good line, or I feel you should repeat it.
Yeah, it's almost like you're davening in your poems.
Yeah, it's like a song, you know.
Yeah.
It's like poetry because it is. You
Yeah.
repeat.
You repeat.
And like a prayer.
Okay. Yeah. And like William Carlos Williams, you're into things rather than that.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I brought the bread
Right.
and hold that up, and the helmet. Things.
Everything. Like one of our books we published by you is called Bicycles, Canoes, and Drums.
Yeah.
All very unrelated things, but I guess we're all related.
But they're all primitive.
Yeah. Drums,
Yeah.
canoes,
All primitive.
Yeah.
Bicycle maybe not be quite as primitive, but relatively primitive.
relatively. It's not powered up.
Basic, simple. And that's
Basic.
why I'm talking about the future is going to get back to those things. Horse-drawn, trolley cars.
Oh yeah.
I think they should bring back horses.
Yeah, they're getting rid of them in New York, I hear. The ones that,
The policemen, right?
Central Park also.
Yeah, they should bring them back.
Yeah. All right, one of your poems, Poetry Minds, I believe it is? Poetry
Mind.
Yeah, Poetry Mind.
Yeah.
You read the poetry, keep your mind from being standardized. Do you find that people less and less amount of people are trying to think outside the box, do you think? You're finding out how it's a hard person to find who's thinking outside the box, or is it, they're just going with with saturated by the media and going, what do you think?
That's a good question. I don't know what other people are thinking or what they're doing.
No, but anecdotally you may have your own ideas.
I think that, I don't know what they're doing or what they're thinking, but I think that they should break out of it and go in different ways and new ways and not be enamored with technology.
Okay. You think I often see that everyone's plugged in and tuned out. So
I know you wrote about it in that article.
Yeah.
I see, you see it. People on the street looking at the thing and not looking around them.
Yeah, and so it's hard.
So I think they're missing something. It's too many screens.
Yeah,
too many screens.
It's becoming an artificial environment. Yeah. Anyway,
you sound like a bunch of
codgers.
Yeah.
All right. You young people. Okay.
But not all young people. I know plenty of teenagers and high school and college kids who say, that's it.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to happen.
What's that?
People are going to put down those things.
Yeah.
Because it's fake.
Yeah. Do you have any of those things?
No.
You don't have a cell phone?
I have a cell phone.
You have a computer?
I have a computer.
All right.
But I use it for writing and emailing you, and mostly I read your emails.
Well, that's, I can't blame you on that one. No iPod.
Here's the thing about technology.
No tablets.
I think the computer is it. It's gone just about as far as it should go, and let's keep it there.
Well, it won't. It won't. We'll become.
We'll have things in our brains. Right?
Yeah, we'll have things in our brains. Right.
Yeah, but to me, it's all of it is away from nature, and that's really my beef.
Yeah.
Because when you go away from nature, destroying it becomes less of a problem.
Okay. Well, Dan, we've got about 12 minutes, and you're going to read from your poetry for us. And whatever you want to read from your new book, Flying Cats Actually Swooping, that could be bought at the Ibbetson Street Press at ibbetsonpress.com, or on Amazon, or any number of places.
All right. This is called, when I read it, should I look out to the camera or look at you?
Yeah, don't look at me. Look at the camera.
Okay. This is called Conference No-Show. I was supposed to go to a conference. I had a paper accepted at a conference, and, I'll read the poem. Your name is on the list. They have a name tag for you on the registration table. They have a room reserved for you with chairs and a whiteboard and podium and a bottle of cold water for your presentation. They have the title of your talk and workshop printed in the handsome pamphlet of events, and it's on the marquee. Some attendees of the conference who find your title and description interesting are planning to see it, but you are a no-show. Your name tag is the only one left on the table. People choose another presentation or plan to leave early. Maybe someone wonders for a split second what it was. Maybe not. Maybe it is better to be a no-show sometimes. The folks running the conference say to each other, he is a no-show, and are secretly pleased. In some ways, you are glad to be a no-show. Someone has to be a no-show. What do the no-shows do when they do not show? Why are they not? Why are they not no-shows? Why do they even apply and send in their paper and their check? No-shows are away. No-shows are gone. No-shows are not there. When you're dead, you are a permanent no-show. There comes a time in everyone's life when you have to be a no-show. And the people will think you are irresponsible and feel superior to you. I mean, after all, they showed. They were responsible. Showing is the least you can do. And maybe we need no-shows so everyone else can feel good in their responsibility. Someone has to keep hotel workers employed. Someone has to be committed to the conference. They put on their name tag, saw the keynote speaker, went to the talks and workshops, took notes, gave their talk or workshop, and they were convinced about whatever they were convinced about. They had lunch and collegial conversation about how wonderful technology is in the classroom. Maybe ate too much. There was a lot of food, and all agreed it was very good. When the afternoon sessions are through, they get into their cars and head home feeling responsible and confident in what they do and believe in. They feel accomplished, successful, and quite pleased with themselves, as well they should be. They are contributing to their field and education and society. There are as many reasons why the no-show doesn't show as there are no-shows. As for me, I want to sit outside and watch the birds, and sky, and grass, and trees, and cat in June sunshine. And I am deeply into Crime and Punishment, and Raskolnikov, and how they blame it on the house painters, who even confesses. After all, Russians just want to suffer. And besides, the cat and I want to be outside all the time, and that is what it has come to. I have become a cat. You have to let out, and have nothing to prove, and do not need to convince anybody of anything.
It sort of sums up your philosophy. And you were a house painter before you were a teacher, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but I never confessed to murder. In Crime and Punishment, the house painter confesses, and he didn't do it.
Yeah.
But he wants to go to Siberia. He wants to be in jail because he wants to suffer.
Oh, wow. Sounds like a Woody Allen character.
It's actually a religious thing.
Yeah. Holy fool. All right.
How are we doing on time?
Good.
You know what I want to do?
Yeah,
Dan
go ahead.
Sklar. Dan is...
Excuse me.
This is what I want to do.
Okay.
I want to, in England, when a playwright is going to present a play to producers, he acts it all out for the producers, all the parts.
Okay.
So what I did is I brought a little one act here.
Okay. But you got
Short one-act play.
you got 8 minutes.
8 minutes. I can do it in 8 minutes.
Right, and we'll keep it going for the sake of the tape. So even if
Okay.
you go off air, we'll be on the tape.
All right. This is called Half Boy, Half Cat, a play in one act. The setting is the headmaster's office at Nyack Prep School, Southampton, New York. The time is autumn, 1968.
Hey, how old are you, 15?
16 actually.
16.
Well, this character is.
Okay.
Early evening. Characters, Mr. O'Hara is the headmaster, he's in his 40s, and Sandy Novak, who's 16. And I'm going to play both parts.
Okay.
O'Hara. Now, I won't name the character, I'll just do a different voice. You're a bright boy. I mean, after all, you're a curious boy. Don't you want to know something about chemistry and algebra? You must be the least bit curious, Sandy. Well, I thought about it, Mr. O'Hara, sitting here in your office with the books on the walls and molding and crisscross patterns on the ceiling, and it occurred to me right now and here that I want to be outside, and it dawned on me in this moment that outside is the place for me, outside riding my bicycle. I did not ask you to come to my office here to find out what you want to do. It's just that all through school, I mean elementary school, I looked out the window and wanted to be out there in the sunshine. It didn't matter if it was raining or snowing. It's all about being outside for me, sir. I can breathe outside and feel at home no matter where I am, Mr. O'Hara. I see. Maybe I'm a cat, or a nomad, or a gypsy or something. Go to your classes. I go to classes. Sure, history and English and French, but, sir, you play soccer, don't you? Yes. Your weekends are free. Yes, except for rehearsals. You don't miss those, do you? No, sir. What's the play? Of Mice and Men. Mr. Adams directing it. I know. Who are you? George. George? Yes, sir, I play George. I can see it, yes. Thank you, sir. I tell Lenny about the rabbits. Yes, I know. I think it is one of the saddest plays ever written. Yes, I agree, but balance, Sandy. That's what I'm getting at. Find a balance between your outdoor life and indoor life. You can't be a cat and a boy at the same time. That's an interesting way of putting it, sir. Why not, sir? That is a very good question. Thank you for that question. You're welcome, sir. Balance. Why, sir? Shut the door on your way out. Good night, sir. Oh, incidentally, Mrs. Reynolds has better things to do than to search for you all over town every afternoon. Sir? I'm calling Nick Zanos over at the Sip and Soda first thing in the morning. Sipping soda, sir. Yes, the sipping soda. No, sir. No, sir? It's not the sipping soda. Sandy, we know you hide there every day. Mr. Hara, it's not called the sipping soda, and I don't, sir. Sandy, it's sipping soda, just sipping soda, no the, sir. You don't hide at sipping soda, the sipping soda, I mean sipping soda? No, sir. You mean to tell me that you do not go to sipping soda every day? Yes, sir, I go for a lime Ricky and french fries, not to hide. Well, that's neither here nor there. Sir, I'm calling Nick Zanos first thing in the morning, and I know Mr. Zanos, and I am telling you that I will have Mr. Zanos call me when you go there, other than on weekends and Wednesday afternoons. Yes, sir. Oh, incidentally, did you punch Joey Coogan in the face? Yes, sir. Why? Someone has to do something about bullies, Mr. O'Hara. I get it. Sanford Novak will wander and fight the bullies too. Is that it? Don Quixote? You know, Mr. O'Hara, sir, I think I should be allowed to ride my bicycle instead of going to those classes. I believe I learn more wandering. Aren't we here to learn, sir? And besides, maybe those classes are not my idea of a well-rounded person. You're 16, right? What does that have to do with it? Are you an authority on what makes a well-rounded person? No, sir. I'm an authority on me. New York State has a different idea of what makes a well-rounded person. I do not believe that includes wandering. There's a curriculum we have to follow in order to graduate from high school. Does a cat have to graduate from high school? Maybe you have to take classes you don't like so that you can do the things you like. Being in the play, for instance, playing soccer. I don't know what you mean, sir. You know, John the barber will be here on Tuesday. I suggest you see him. Yes, sir. Oh, and Sandy, why were you on the church roof on Sunday, you and Farley and Berman? Oh, Mr. Hara, I just finished reading Crime and Punishment, and I cannot read anything else for a long time. Mr. Novak, you make these declarative sentences. Any other school would have expelled you. You have to go